Karen demands discount at pottery shop, breaks vase, and pays full price with everyone watching. The pottery shop on Maple Street was a haven of quiet creativity, its shelves lined with handcrafted vases, bowls, and mugs. Each piece a labor of love by Elias, the shop's owner. The air smelled of clay and glaze, and soft folk music hummed in the background. It was a place where locals came to find beauty in imperfection. But on this humid July afternoon, that peace was about to shatter. Karen stormed in, her heels clicking like gunfire on the wooden floor. She was in her late 40s, dressed in a pristine white blouse, her hair a sharp bob that seemed to cut the air as she moved. Her voice carried the weight of someone used to getting her way. "I want that blue vase," she declared, pointing at a delicate piece on a high shelf. "But it's overpriced. I'll take it for half off." Elias, a wiry man with calloused hands and a gentle demeanor, looked up from his workbench. "Ma'am, that's a handcrafted piece. The price reflects the work. I can't discount it." Karen's eyes narrowed, her lips curling into a sneer. "Do you know who I am? I've got a blog with thousands of followers. I could ruin your little shop." The other customers, locals browsing quietly, paused, their hands hovering over pottery. A young woman, Lila, who'd been admiring a mug, exchanged a glance with her friend, sensing trouble brewing. Elias stood firm, his voice calm but resolute. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but the price is final." Karen's face reddened, her voice rising to a pitch that made the air feel electric. "This is outrageous. You're ripping people off." She reached for the vase, yanking it off the shelf with a reckless tug. The room gasped as the vase slipped from her grip, crashing to the floor in a cascade of blue shards. The sound was deafening, a gunshot in the stillness. Karen froze, her bravado crumbling for a split second before she doubled down. "That was your fault," she snapped, pointing at Elias. "You shouldn't have placed it so high." The crowd murmured, disbelief rippling through them. Elias's jaw tightened, but before he could respond, a new voice cut through the tension. "Lady, you broke it. Own it." It was Old Man Carter, a regular who'd been quietly sipping coffee in the corner. His gravelly voice carried the weight of a man who'd seen enough nonsense in his 70 years. The crowd turned, surprised by his sudden intervention. Carter, with his weathered hat and sharp eyes, wasn't one to speak up often, but when he did, people listened. Karen spun toward him, her face a mask of fury. "Mind your own business, old man." But Carter didn't flinch. "You're making it everyone's business," he said, leaning forward. "That vase took Elias weeks to craft. You gonna pay for it or keep whining?" The room held its breath, the tension so thick it felt like a storm about to break. Lila, the young woman, stepped forward, her voice trembling but firm. "He's right. You can't just break things and blame everyone else." The crowd nodded, their whispers growing bolder, forming a chorus of disapproval. Karen's confidence wavered, her eyes darting between the shattered vase and the growing circle of onlookers. Elias, seizing the moment, said quietly, "The vase was $200. You can pay for it now, or we can call the police." Karen laughed, a brittle sound, but her hands shook as she reached for her purse. "Fine," she spat, pulling out her credit card. "But I'm leaving a 1-star review." The machine beeped as the payment went through, and the crowd watched in silence as Karen shoved her way out, her heels echoing like a fading drumbeat. As the door slammed, the shop exhaled. Elias knelt to gather the shards, his hands steady but his eyes heavy with loss. Lila approached, placing a hand on his shoulder. "I'm sorry," she said. "That was awful." Elias managed a small smile. "It's just clay," he said, but his voice cracked. Old Man Carter, still in his corner, muttered, "Some people break more than just vases." The words hung in the air, a quiet truth. The crowd dispersed, some buying pottery in silent support, others whispering about Karen's outburst. The shop slowly returned to its rhythm, but the weight of the moment lingered. Later, as Elias swept up the last of the shards, he found a small note tucked under a shelf, written in Lila's neat handwriting. "Your work is worth more than her words. Keep creating. The twist of kindness from a near stranger softened the sting of the day. It wasn't just about a broken vase, it was about a community standing up, about small acts of courage in the face of entitlement. Karen's tantrum had shattered more than clay. It had exposed her own fragility, laid bare for all to see. The day ended with Elias locking up, the shop quiet again. He kept Lila's note in his pocket, a reminder that even in chaos, there was good. The broken vase couldn't be fixed, but the shop's spirit endured. Karen paid her price, not just in dollars but in the eyes of everyone watching. And in that small victory, there was a bitter, human truth. Actions have consequences, and sometimes, the loudest voices fall the hardest. What do you think? Where do we draw the line between standing up for fairness and escalating conflict in our communities?